I'm 55, and I've spent years reading the research on aging, so I can explain it plainly. So let me tell you something that took me too long to learn. The difference between getting older with energy and getting blindsided by a health problem often comes down to a single sheet of paper, your lab results. And here's the part that bothers me. Most folks over 60 walk out of the doctor's office having had the wrong tests done or having missed the ones that actually matter. So today I'm going to walk you through the 5 lab tests I personally would never skip after 60 and the 2 I would politely refuse. Now stick with me, because number 4 on my list is the one most seniors have never even heard of, and it may be quietly affecting how your heart and your kidneys are doing right now. We'll get to it, but the order matters, so let's start at the top. Before I do, one promise from me to you. I am not a doctor, and nothing here is a diagnosis or a prescription. This is general education to help you walk into your next appointment knowing what to ask for. Your doctor and your pharmacist know you. I don't. So treat this as the notes a knowledgeable friend hands you before the visit. Let's begin with test number 1, the hemoglobin A1C. You may have had your blood sugar checked with a finger stick or a fasting number, and those are fine snapshots. But the A1C is different. It looks back over roughly the last 3 months and tells you the average. Think of it like a report card for your blood sugar instead of a single pop quiz. Research has long linked higher A1C levels to a greater risk of problems with the eyes, the nerves in the feet, and the kidneys over time. And here's why it matters so much after 60. Type 2 diabetes can build slowly and quietly for years. Many seniors feel completely fine while their numbers drift upward. The A1C catches that drift early when there's the most you and your doctor can do about it. If your number comes back in a range your doctor wants to watch, that is not a reason to panic. It's information. It's the early warning light on the dashboard, and you'd much rather see it now than later. Test number 2 is the lipid panel, and I want you to ask for a slightly fancier version of it. Most people know the lipid panel gives you total cholesterol, your HDL, your LDL, and your triglycerides. Useful, all of it. But studies in recent years have pointed to one extra marker that may tell a sharper story. ApoB. Now don't let the name scare you. ApoB is, in plain terms, a count of the actual cholesterol-carrying particles bumping around in your bloodstream, the ones that can lodge in artery walls. Here's the catch that researchers have noticed. 2 people can have the very same LDL number, but very different ApoB counts. And some research suggests the particle count may track more closely with cardiovascular risk than the standard LDL number alone. It's often a simple add-on to the blood draw you're already getting. So the takeaway is this: when you go in for your cholesterol check, it is completely reasonable to ask your doctor, would an ApoB test give us any extra information in my case? Let them decide if it fits your situation. You're not demanding anything. You're starting a smart conversation. That brings us to test number 3, and this one is close to my heart because it's so often missed: vitamin B12. As we age, our bodies frequently become less efficient at pulling B12 out of the food we eat. On top of that, certain very common medications are linked to lower B12 levels over time, including some acid-reducing drugs like omeprazole and the diabetes medication metformin. I want to be crystal clear here. I am not telling you those medications are bad, and I am absolutely not telling you to stop taking anything. Millions of people take them safely and benefit greatly. The point is simply that low B12 can sneak up on you, and here's what makes it sneaky. The symptoms look exactly like just getting older: tiredness, tingling in the hands or feet, a foggy memory, feeling unsteady on your feet. Many seniors and even their families chalk these up to age, when research suggests a simple, inexpensive blood test could reveal a B12 level that's easy to address with your doctor's guidance. If you take a long-term acid reducer or metformin, this is a fair thing to bring up. Should we check my B12 while we're at it? Now, before I give you number 4, the one I teased at the very start, let me quickly hand you that tip I promised. If you find it helpful to have a simple checklist of these tests written down so you can bring it to your next appointment, I've left a free one-page guide linked down in the description below. It's just there if you want it. Think of it as the cheat sheet to take with you so you don't have to remember all this off the top of your head. No pressure at all. Now let's get to number 4. Test number 4 is the one I find seniors know the least about, and it may be one of the most important. Your kidney function, measured through something called eGFR. That stands for Estimated Glomerular Filtration Rate, but forget the long name. Here's all you need to know. Your kidneys are the quiet filters of your whole body, cleaning your blood every single minute of every day. The eGFR is a number calculated from a simple blood test that estimates how well those filters are working. And here is the reason I'd never skip it. The kidneys are remarkably stoic. They can lose a significant amount of function while you feel perfectly normal, no pain, no obvious symptom. By the time someone feels unwell, things may have progressed further than anyone would like. The eGFR gives you a window in long before that point, and this connects to something every one of you needs to understand, because it ties the whole picture together. Your kidneys handle a great many of the medications you take, common blood pressure drugs, certain diabetes medications, even ordinary over-the-counter pain relievers like ibuprofen are all processed in a way that involves the kidneys. When kidney function changes, the right dose of a medication can change too. This is exactly why your doctor sometimes adjusts a dose, and exactly why that eGFR number is so valuable. It helps your doctor keep your medications matched to your body as it is today, not as it was 10 years ago. So if you take any regular medication, knowing your eGFR isn't optional in my book. It's foundational. And again, if a result ever looks off, the answer is never to quietly stop a pill on your own. It's to ask your doctor about it and let them guide any change. Which brings us to test number 5, vitamin D. This one is a bit gentler than the others, but I include it because it's so relevant to how we age. Vitamin D plays a role in how our bodies handle calcium, which means it's tied to bone strength, and after 60, bone strength is no small thing. A fall that a younger person would shrug off can become a serious event for an older adult, and research has linked low vitamin D to weaker bones and a higher risk of fractures. Many older adults run low without realizing it, especially those who spend most of their time indoors, live in northern climates with long winters, or simply don't get much sun. The test is simple and the conversation that follows is simple too. If you're low, your doctor can talk with you about whether a supplement makes sense for you. The dose really should be guided by them, not by guesswork, because more is not automatically better. But knowing the number is a quiet act of looking after your future self and the independence you want to keep. So those are my 5, the A1C, the lipid panel with a possible ApoB add-on, vitamin B12, kidney eGFR, and vitamin D. Now let's talk about the 2 I would refuse. And I want to be careful and fair here, because the word refuse needs context. I don't mean you should argue with your doctor. I mean these are tests that, for an average healthy senior with no specific symptoms, the research and many medical guideline groups suggest often bring more worry and more unnecessary follow-up than genuine benefit. The first is routine, broad cancer screening blood tests marketed directly to healthy people with no symptoms, the kind sometimes advertised as a way to screen for everything at once. I'm not talking about the proven screenings your doctor already recommends on a schedule. I'm talking about the newer, often expensive cast-a-wide net panels sold with big promises. The concern that experts raise is the false alarm. A result that looks worrying can send a person down a long road of more scans, more procedures, more anxiety, and sometimes real risk, only to find nothing was wrong at all. For someone with no symptoms, that trade-off often isn't worth it. So my instinct is to pause and ask, is this actually recommended for someone like me, or is it just available? The second test I'd be cautious about is the unprompted full-body or whole-region imaging scan in a person with no symptoms. Again, the kind sometimes sold straight to the public. Here's the issue researchers point to. As we age, our bodies naturally accumulate harmless little quirks, a small spot here, a benign lump there, things that would never have caused us a moment's trouble. A scan with no specific reason behind it tends to find these, and once found, they often can't be ignored. They get chased with more tests. Doctors even have a nickname for these accidental findings, and the chase that follows can carry its own stress and cost. So when there's no symptom and no specific reason, more looking is not always more knowing. Sometimes it's just more worry. Now please hear the spirit of all this. When your own doctor recommends a screening or a scan because of your history, your symptoms, or your risk factors, that is an entirely different thing, and you should take that seriously. The two I'd refuse are the ones aimed at healthy people through advertising, not through a doctor who knows you. The difference is everything. Let me leave you with the simplest version of what I hope you take away. The right lab tests at the right time are not about fear. They're about quiet confidence, knowing your numbers so that you and your doctor can make small adjustments early while they're still easy instead of facing big problems late. The 5 I walked you through tend to give a lot of insight for very little cost or discomfort. And the 2 I'd be wary of are a good reminder that more testing isn't automatically better testing. If you'd like that one-page checklist of these tests to bring to your next appointment, it's waiting for you in the description below. Print it, fold it in your wallet, and pull it out when the doctor asks if you have any questions. That little piece of paper can turn a rushed visit into a real conversation. And that's really my whole hope for you, that you walk in informed, ask good questions, and feel like a partner in your own care rather than a bystander. You've earned that after all these years. Now remember, my friend, everything I've shared today is general information to help you ask better questions. It is not medical advice, not a diagnosis, and not a reason to start or stop any medication on your own. Your doctor and your pharmacist know you and your history. I don't, so bring them your questions, lean on their guidance, and never change a medication without talking to them first. Take good care of yourself, keep that curious mind of yours sharp, and I'll see you in the next one.